Hey, this is StrongHarm. I'm going to do a little instructional video. A lot of people have had questions based on my close air support mission, the instructional video that I did for that, or the mission overview I should say. People have questions about my flying style and some of the maneuvers I've done in videos. So this is just a little bit of Helo flight instruction. I'm not going to edit it, and it's very informal. Just a quick overview of some of my flight philosophies. First of all, helicopter is very different than a fixed-wing aircraft. Fixed-wing aircraft goes in one direction, and the wind flows over the wings in a way that makes a low pressure area under the wings and gives the aircraft lift. If you look at a Helo's rotor, you'll see that it looks like a fixed wing, a wing on an airplane, but instead of the forward movement of the aircraft providing lift, the rotor turns around and the shape of the rotor wings creates a low pressure area under the rotor disc. Think of it as a disc, like a frisbee. That's the way I think of it. I know it's weird, but it works. So the fact is, when you're in a fixed aircraft, you have to go in one direction. In a Helo, in a rotary wing aircraft, you don't have to go one direction. You can go any direction you want. And that is the beauty and power of a helicopter for close air support and recon roles. So let's talk about side slip flight, side slip movement in the Helo. It's very basic, very simple. Just point your nose in a direction, get at a decent altitude so you don't hit the ground, and bring your joystick to the right and throttle up just a little bit to maintain your altitude. And it doesn't take much to get into a side slip movement. You can even level off and you'll continue to fly in that direction. That's the thing about the rotors. You have to nose down to get yourself moving, but once you're moving, you can level out and maintain that speed as long as your nose isn't up too much. You don't always have to be pointed nose down with your throttle, or I should say your collective, all the way to the full. So let's continue to talk about side slip. So if I'm moving in a side slip fashion like now, and I start going too fast, you'll notice that the nose will just automatically come over to the right. That's because the movement in that direction has overcome your tail rotor's strength. So what you need to do is use your rudders, which controls your tail rotor. Your tail rotor, it counteracts the inertial movement of the rotor in one direction. So if your rotor's moving clockwise, the tail rotor is pushing to the counterclockwise to keep the whole aircraft from spinning with the rotor. So when I move my rudders, it either slows down or increases the speed of the tail rotor to either minimize the counteraction of the rotor or increase the speed of the tail in the other direction. Well, that's not a very good explanation, is it? But play it again a couple times if you need to. And I mean, that's the explanation. It just doesn't sound very simple. Play it over a couple of times if you need to, and think about it. It's important to understand the physics of flight with the rotor aircraft, so you can master it. If you don't understand what the tail rotor is doing and what the rotor is doing, it's very difficult to master it. So instead of allowing my nose to automatically slip over to the right, I'm going to use my tail rotor to counteract that speed. So let me reiterate. When I'm in side slip, I'm constantly moving my collective, my cyclic, and my rudder pedals to keep myself at the same altitude, the same attitude, meaning which direction my nose is pointing, and the same speed. As you can see, in relation to the runway, I'm kind of stable, but go ahead and practice this side slip. If you're watching this video as an instruction, I'd go ahead and stop the video and practice keeping your nose. If you can see the back line of my dash, I'm going to try to keep that right on the edge of the runway and not go too fast. So go ahead and try that out. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is circular movement. Circular movement is similar to side slip, except for we have to give the collective or the stick a little bit of forward movement, and you're going to do what they call washing the stick. Washing the stick is constant movement, kind of like if you were stirring something in a bowl, but not quite all the way to the edges. Just you want to stir the stick a little bit to keep yourself right where you want to be on the collective side. Now on the cyclic side, you're going to have to pump that cyclic up and down pretty slow, almost like you're shifting gears in a car. Well, not a race car, but manual transmission in a regular vehicle on the road. Pretty much constant movement of your cyclic and your collective and your rudder pedals. Rudder pedals, you can find a sweet spot for the speed that you're in circular movement and not have to move your rudders too much, but your cyclic and collective, you're probably going to be moving those quite a bit. If you find that the movement is too extreme to the edge of your joystick or your HOTAS throttle, if that's what you're using, then increase your sensitivity in the game. I personally use my sensitivity is all the way up. I think I put that ammo box too close to the edge of this area. It's hitting that bag and it's caught fire. I think I'm going to have to fix that. So, circular movement. What I'm going to do is get in a side slip, and then I'm going to rudder over more to keep my attitude towards my target, and I'm going to continue to move my cyclic and collective to maintain that same nose attitude. A little bit of forward movement with the stick. My throttle or cyclic is, right now it's moving up and down pretty slowly from the 30 to about the 60% positions, pretty slowly up and down. I've got a little bit of cant to the right. As you can see, if you look down at my HSI, it's a little bit to the right. Now it's centered. Now it's right. And I've got some nose down. So if I'm doing recon in an area, let's say I'm reconning this base, I'm going to want some side slip movement. Go ahead and nose up and do a circle with your nose. That helps you to slow down and get into a side slip. Let me do that again. I'm going to get some speed up here. Now I'm going to nose up and I'm going to do a circle with my joystick and turn my nose. And now I'm stationary and I'm getting into a side slip. So I'm doing recon right now, and I've got my co-pilot pointed towards the enemy so he'll get shot. And I'm checking the area out, and as you can see, since I'm in side slip movement, I've got a better field of view during recon, and you can make your side slip, can increase your altitude quite a bit, or you can side slip, nape to the earth, and if you need to get real close up in there. For instance, this would be a good attitude and altitude for recon of a large area. Now let's say that that building at the end of my rocket needs to be reconned. I need to look in the windows. So if I use side slip movement, and I'm easy with my cyclic and my collective, I can get right up in there and take a look in the windows. This is also a good combat posture. If you want to fire into windows, you're still moving, so they can't shoot you easily, but you can get your guns right up in those windows. So reconning, make a wide circle at a high altitude. During combat, let's say these guys right here, they're my target. So I'm gonna go out to sea a little bit. Now I could do one of two things. I could run up on them like I'm in a fixed wing aircraft and just strafe them like this and hope that I hit them all. Or I can come in low and fast. I can nose up real quick and do a circle with my nose, my joystick, and get myself inside slip movement. Throttle down, throttle up, side slip. Now I've got my nose right on my target. And if I want to take these guys out, they are definitely not going to live. I've got them dead to rights. And as you can see with the fixed wing type strafing run, I don't have that capability. Now, right now I'm just in a slow circular pattern. If I'm getting shot at, I'm going to want to get in a true funnel maneuver. Now, a true funnel maneuver, your nose is hanging down a lot more and you're spinning a lot faster. So I'm going to get some side slip speed going. Then I'm going to joystick all the way to the left and throttle all the way up. And that didn't work out, so let me try again. Sometimes it's hard to get a real good funnel. So I've got some inertia and a joystick all the way over and throttle all the way up. And that was bad. Okay, I'm going to have to cut that out of the video because now it looks like I suck. Alright, so I'm going to get some good side slip movement. I'm going to get some good throttle going. And okay. So there's a pretty good funnel maneuver right there, but I'm way too high now. The thing about the funnel maneuver is you've got the inertia. Think about a ball swinging on a rope. You've got a ball on a rope and you're swinging it around. Now that rope is holding that ball around that central axis, that pivot point. Well, delete the rope and add a jet or a rotor wash in the opposite direction to the of where the lanyard or rope would be attached to the ball. So what you have is you have the inertia of the ball spinning, and then you have jet or rotor wash pushing in the opposite direction as the inertia. So what's happening is the weight is being distributed to the bottom of my helo, and then my rotor is counteracting that weight to the bottom of the helo. And I'm able to fly with my nose nearly straight down and maintain that, if I can do it correctly. Dang. Okay, I'm trying to do too tight of a funnel. So here we go. Throttle all the way up. Rudders all the way over. Okay, so I'm just about nose straight down. And that's not very useful. I'm going to have to redo this part of the video because I'm getting ahead of myself. you go. Funnel maneuver. There's my target. It's the helo pad. I'm going to shoot all those guys down there. So I'm going to get some good side slip movement going. I'm going to do my circle with my nose. And I'm collective all the way to the left. I'm throttle almost open all the way full. And I'm rudder almost all the way over. So if you fall out of it, do your circle with your nose again. Throttle all the way up, get some side slip going. Joystick all the way to the left. And now you're in your funnel maneuver again. Constant movement of your collective, your cyclic, and your rudder pedals. And right now my altitude's getting to be too much, so I'm going to have to coordinate the use of my cyclic and my collective to decrease my altitude without losing my funnel. That's kind of hard to do. So take it easy on your collective. You don't want to get too high because it can be a pain in the ass to get low without slipping out of your funnel just like that. So there it is. Let's employ this in some combat. I'm going to stop the video and restart once we're there. Okay, so we've got a mission in Camp Rogaine. I like to get it low in these valleys. It's fun. You can get closer to these trees than it seems. Right now I'm still, 30, 50 feet away from them, so don't be afraid to get down in there. Once you get used to once you know the physics of flight, you understand your collective and your cyclic, you can really get in close on everything that you do. And that's not about being a skilled pilot, it's really just physics. JTAC.
Aircraft visual. This is JTAC Juliet 57. Type 2 in effect. 9-line developing. Multiple targets urgent. Grid 05057. Cleared hot. Danger close. East-west vector. Radio for smoke. Green on friendly. Red on enemy. Stand by for talk on.
Alright, I see Rogaine over there. I see they're already getting hit. JTAC's giving me targets. Mask for smoke. And sit rep. Oh, 10 to 17. So we've already got blue's already hurting. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of this technical. I can see the red smoke down right.
AT soldier, 600 meters east.
Okay, I've been retargeted. Alright, let's see if we can get a good funnel maneuver going here.
100 meters north. Contact soldier.
Contact! Rifleman!
Do my circle with my nose. Get it going. Let's dispatch these bastards quickly. Because we only have 10 blues left. Sometimes you gotta let your pipper fade to the target instead of trying to put your pipper on the target. And it looks like friendlies already took that blue out. I do have some friendlies down there. Our friendlies already took that technical out, I should say. There's another technical. We'll blast him just in case. So I'm in a circular, not a funnel. In a circular, you got to be careful around these mountains. And let my nose fade to it. Oh, I missed. That time I did. Okay, so the farm's clean. That's it.